everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another Adobe Live. We are here today.
Well, oh no. Thanks, Sophia. That was very kind of you. Well, that didn't work out. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Sophia, if you can still hear me, I think your camera just said goodbye. Oh no. I'm sure she's scrambling in the background. Anyway, in the meantime, hi. Welcome back to part 2 of motion tracking with Tim on this wonderful Monday morning. And I'm very excited to be here for you. And I think you, Sophia's just chatting me. She's got no idea what's going on. Great. Probably the camera that turned off after 30 minutes. It's like the classic. In any case, oh, there she is. Hi. I think you need to switch the microphone because it's still connected to the camera.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Hello. Okay.
Great. I have all this set up and then everything breaks down as usual.
It's fantastic. That's just the way we like it. That's how we know it's live, you know. Anyway.
Well,
right.
That's how we know it's live. So I'm back, at least.
You were saying...
I was saying that we're going to talk about After Effects and that I don't know anything about After Effects, but we're going to learn a lot about it today.
Yes, because Sophia is here to tell us all about motion tracking. So I think, Sophia, you haven't shared your screen yet. Can you?
Yes, of course. I'm going to show you all about After Effects. It's going to take 2 minutes, how to open the software and how to close it. This is all I know.
Right. Well, that ought to be enough for a stream, right? No, of course not. I will be doing all the presentation work today. So, Sophia, you can relax and ask all the questions you always wanted to ask about motion tracking, but please only the easy ones so I can answer them. Okay. And shall we have a look at the chat? Who's joining us today?
Yes, we have some familiar faces, names as usual. We have Sandrine here, we have Jackie, we have Jack, and Oliver, Linda. So if you don't know what we're talking about, we have a chat on Behance. So if you're watching on YouTube, join over at Behance and you can ask all the questions you have about motion tracking and After Effects.
That's right. Yes, chatting. We're doing that on behance.net/Adobe Live. So join us there. Say hi. If this is your first time joining, then let us know where you're watching from. But for now, I think that's enough talking. We do want to get into some After Effects. So I think let's hop on over to my... I was about to say to my... Oh, there we are. Okay. For some reason...
Today is not the most...
No.
Functional stream we had. I think this is the least functional stream I had in years.
It's gonna be fine. It's all right. Sometimes the cable apparently is not the most secure, so if it disconnects for a second, I hope it should be fine. Right. Anyway, so we are once again back in After Effects, and let's just start with a new composition as always. And last time we left off by, let's have a look at the icons, we can see. Last time we checked out this file where we, if you remember, we tracked the camera movement, so we made it more stable. And of course, we also fixed the number license plate. So make it look actually blurred out instead of this sort of semi-blurred out state, which we didn't like. We also had a look at 3D camera tracking, where we placed some text on this field. So that was fun. And also, I think we had a quick look at this one. That's right. Yep, where we tracked some footage on this iMac. Oh, there we are. Now we're back. We tracked some footage on this iMac. And of course, we also added a name to this file. So this is where we left off last time, and I promised you to get into some more details and check out what else we can do with tracking in After Effects. So let's jump right in. And I would like to start with perhaps a really fun and easy example, which everyone at home can do. And for this, I will need this file right here. So this is just... make a new composition based on that. There we are, and let's make sure this fits. If we scrub through, we have this person standing in the woods, play that back. And I have an issue with this file. I mean, this is a great film. This is a great movie. Short movie, apparently. It's only 10 seconds long. But I would like to add some custom lighting to the face of this person, of our main subject. And the issue is, of course, I don't want to affect the background. Because, I mean, the background is great, but perhaps I just want to add some ping, some brightness, some flair to the face. And how could I possibly do that? Let's check that out. So
I think it's very funny that you're combining the two things of saying something is easy in After Effects. I've never seen anything easy in After Effects.
Oh, come on. It's super duper easy. You will see.
No, really. I tried to do a title once and I failed. It was just too much. So I'm really excited to see something easy in After Effects.
Well, luckily, no motion graphics today. I don't think so. So it should be fine. And very wholesome. Okay. So the way I'm going to do it is I will go to the pen tool and very quickly, well, first of all, because I don't want to, don't want to sit here and spend the entire hour just waiting for the thing to track. So I would just scoot down the composition a bit so we only have like, I don't know, 6 seconds to track instead of all the 10 seconds. It's just a bit quicker and the technique would be the same for the other 4 seconds anyway. So let me just trim that. There we are, and now we only have the 6 seconds, so it should be a bit faster. All right, so like I was saying, now let's take the pen tool and really easily and quickly and sloppily just create a mask. And of course, I was on the wrong layer, as always. I have to make sure to select the current layer, which then, if you have a look at my cursor, you can see there's this mask icon next to the pen. That's what we're looking for because we want to create a mask, not a shape. So let's try that again. And there we are. That's now working properly. And I'm doing a really quick and rough and dirty outline of this person. Just like this. Okay. And now, well, we could do anything to that part of the image. We could apply perhaps some lightness. We can apply a lumetri filter maybe, or lumetri. But the issue, of course, is if I play this back, at some point, see that? It's moving out of shot. And that's not good. The mask is staying constant. Actually, we're doing a remarkably good job at, the camera person was doing a good job at keeping the subject in the center, so we don't actually have to do too much work, but at some point it's actually moving out. So we should definitely track that so we can still light up the face, which would be otherwise hidden. So let's track it. I've already opened the tracking window up here. If you don't see that, just as a reminder, you need to have it open by going to Window and Tracker. And I've docked this to the side so we can have a bit more space. There we are, so we can see everything properly. And now that I have selected my mask, After Effects already says, oh, perhaps you want to track the mask. And I'm like, yes, thank you, After Effects. Very helpful. Yes, I would like to track the mask, and I would like to track, I can do position, rotation, and so on. For this case, I think we can get away with position. We'll see. Let's try position, and yeah, let's just try the position, because why not? Okay. It will also be the fastest. And now I can just click play or track forward. And After Effects will do all the hard work for me. So watch this. No hands. Right? After Effects is going ahead and, surprisingly quickly, for footage of this size, it's going ahead and tracking the mask on the face. And now you can see, whereas before the face would have been cut off by the mask, now it indeed is still showing. And it's not perfect, I do have to say that, but you can see the mask is actually moving. And of course, if we wanted to, we could refine that mask anytime. So we could say like, oh, actually, I don't want less of this background. So we could have paused the track and then edited the mask slightly to make sure it fits our requirements. But for this, I am pretty happy with that. I think it's fine because we will mask and, we will feather out the mask anyway, so a bit of background or foreground doesn't really matter. So let's do it. Let's actually do what we want to do in the first place. Let's brighten up this subject. And this is relatively easy. I will just go to the effects section and look for Lumetry or Lumetry. Click and drag. And let's cool that down just a bit. Add like half a stop of exposure, or maybe 0.8. And bring the shadows down, up, I mean. There we are. Maybe not 0.8, maybe 0.5, because we don't want to make it too extreme. And there we are. Of course, now we are running into the issue that, oh no, the background is gone. Well, there could be two ways we could fix this. Either I could duplicate the current layer and just disable the mask in the one below, but that would require two layers. And if we ever want to make changes to a layer, then we would have to make the same changes to the other layer as well. So instead, I will go ahead and go into the effects section, to Lumetry or Lumetry, and I will go to the compositing options. Because in here, we can indeed, if we zoom out just a bit, we can click on this plus icon and say mask reference and use mask 1. And now if we go out, we can see the background is back and we have only applied that mask to this effect, which is indicated by this icon. So we can see our mask is now applied to this effect. And if we deselect the layer, we can, however, see that our edits have left a sharp edge, and this is, of course, not great. I think you should be able to see that right here. This is not what we want, so let's go ahead to the mask in here and just feather it about by like 50, 60 pixels, I don't know. If you really want to see where the mask is affecting the image, we can do like a very dramatic and drastic adjustment. So now we can really see where the feathering is happening. So I think right about here we should be fine. And of course now we should bring that back to 0. And if we play that back, we have our before and our after. Before and after. I really think that perhaps, okay, maybe it's a bit too cool. We can actually warm this up if we wanted to. We can see what a difference it can make. And of course, imagine now you can do this with anything in a scene. Perhaps you have like, I don't know, basketball and you want to make it more orange than it was originally, then you can track that one and you can apply selective adjustments to only certain parts in the image that are moving. Something that otherwise would be very tricky to do. Imagine me having to hand move all those mask points and like, yeah, you can do it, but we don't really want to. Okay, now let's go into another effect that we can do. And for this, I would just go back all the way. And there we are. So good that you can go back like 30 steps. Like, oh, you want to go back to the beginning? Sure, fine. All right. So another thing I wanted to show with masks and tracking is that we can remove objects. Last time we touched upon this by, remember we have stabilized something and we had some edges that showed up and we filled that in. But I also want to show that you can also remove certain objects in a scene by using masks and tracking them. So let's do that. For this one, I immediately...
Can I ask a question in between?
Of course.
I have one question.
Go on.
The only thing I know about like motion tracking and stuff, is there... I know we're in After Effects, but this could also be sent to Premiere Pro, right? Like I can connect After Effects with Premiere Pro stuff.
Yeah, definitely. If you are starting out perhaps in Premiere Pro and you want to track something, there are some trackers in there, even mask trackers. But you can also link a composition of After Effects and edit that here, then jump back into Premiere and finish your editing there. So you can embed, so to say, an After Effects composition in Premiere, and it's dynamically linked, so every edit you make, it reflects. Or you can also stay in Premiere and do some tracking over there.
That was my question. Can I change a mask that like my composition from After Effects, can I later on change it in Premiere Pro? Like the mask, for example, could I still make changes to that? Or do I then have to go back to After Effects?
If you embed or if you link an After Effects composition, you would have to go to After Effects. But if you track directly in Premiere, you can create masks in Premiere and you can track them. Then, of course, you can edit them in Premiere easily.
Okay.
But the good thing about this, you still don't have to render. Imagine having to render out everything and then import in Premiere, and then, oh no, something is wrong, and then re-rendering. Like, that's not what we have to do if we dynamically link compositions. But for now, we will stay in After Effects because I think that's that's the easiest. Sure. We shouldn't switch apps on top of learning new things. So let's stay.
Once again, don't say easy in After Effects in one sentence.
Of course, it's fantastically easy, good fun, and very wholesome. All right, so what I would like to do is I looked at this footage and I saw the person has like these two straps, and I would like to remove them. And of course, the issue is they're moving and there's some perspective shifts, so how could we possibly do that? Or maybe if you don't want to remove straps, maybe you have some tracking markers, like those dots where your visual effects artists can easily put tracking markers on it and you want to remove them. Or perhaps you want to remove a stain from a shirt, or maybe a blemish from a face, right? Anything is possible. So how could we do that? Well, easy enough. Make sure we have the pen tool selected, the layer selected, and now I'm just going to go ahead and create another very rough, quick and dirty mask. This certainly won't be my best masking work ever, but I'm sure you can agree we should rather have a look at the technique instead of me doing pixel perfect masking work. But having said that, of course, I will still adjust some. There we are. Okay. All right. So we have masked this out now. Super duper easy. Now let's track it. We've learned this is also very easy. For this case, I will actually turn on perspective because the person is rotating slightly. So we should make sure that we can also track that. And going forward, this shouldn't take too long. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, boop. And doing the same thing in the other direction, we can also track backwards. Well, this is doing all the hard work. Me not doing anything. And now we have, you can see, our straps. They're now being tracked. Fantastic. All right, so what can we do with that? Of course, we can go into Content Aware Fill, which I will just quickly dock over here. And now we can fill that in. But first, before we fill that in, we need to set the mode to subtract because we want to take away those straps. We don't want to fill in the rest. We want to fill in what we have masked out. So we have to subtract that. And now we can see that over here, if we say generate fill layer, we have to save the project first. Let's call that one track crash course. Say OK. And now After Effects is going ahead and doing all the hard work for us once again. Now you see why I have trimmed off part of the composition so we don't have to wait too long because this is taking a moment. But having said that, it's still pretty quick. So imagine having to do all that work by hand. That was no fun. Welcome to the smudge. Yeah, let's just take the smudge tool and just smudge that. Let's just paint over that. Yeah, easy. I mean, this is how you used to do it, right? You were supposed to take like painting tools. You just paint over that and then you try to move it somewhat according to the
frame by frame
movement. Yeah, that's not great. Instead, now look at that. Straps be gone. And that essentially took no time at all, right? Super easy. I think you now have to agree that this was indeed easy, wasn't it? 2 buttons.
That was indeed easy, but I still might forget
See?
all the steps.
Well, that's why
I feel
we have
like
the stream
I'm
now.
with After Effects, like people are with left and right. I can never learn.
Right. Okay. So, and now of course the possibilities are endless. Imagine you have like I said earlier, a stain on your shirt, or maybe a coffee cup in a medieval fantasy series on a popular network. Maybe you want to take that out. Well, now you can. All right. Or maybe
Well, they could have, I guess.
maybe one of your actors forgot to take off their watch, and now you can just track the one and get rid of it. Right. Okay. So let's recap what we have done in the first half. Well, barely half of the stream. We made sure that we can, of course, now I removed it again. So what we did was we brightened up the subject, and we removed the straps, which, luckily, since After Effects is creating a new fill layer, we can always get rid of that. Or maybe if we say, ooh, that's a bit too dark, we can, of course, apply some effects so that make it a bit brighter to reduce some of the shadows, because clearly we can see some shadows where those straps used to be, like right here. We could deal with that using Lumetri and brighten that up if we wanted to. But I think that's not important for now, because we know how to track now, and we know how to apply those masks so we can remove objects. So let's move on. And for this, I think we can get rid of this. And yeah, we don't need the composition anymore, so we could close that and hop on over to the next clip. And I think for this one, why don't we, I don't know, go for this clip right here. Let's check that out. So we have this person talking in front of a camera, smiling, of course. And what I would like to do is I would like to track the facial features. Right? Maybe we want to apply something to the face, so why don't we check that out? Okay, so let's get that in here and create a new composition. We can get rid of the old one, and there we have it. And once again, I think this is about 30 seconds, so I think we can trim it to, I don't know, maybe just starting here. Yeah, and ending, I don't know, there maybe. Because like I said, the rest would be certainly the same. So let's just...
Did you see in the chat they want you to add a mustache to the face?
How very interesting.
Oh.
Who would ever do that?
Can someone read your mind?
That's crazy. Right. Okay. So I think we can even get that a bit smaller, because we don't need to do that for 20 seconds. So there we are. Let's play that back. All right. Fantastic. So how can we track a face? Well, there are 2 options for us to do that. One is a more general outline of the face, which can be really good if we just care about the overall shape of the face. And the other one is a more detailed tracking of the face, which should reveal about 38 keyframeable parameters. Or was it 28? I don't remember now. Anyway, if you care to count, let me know. And I think we should just start with the, I don't want to say easy, the simplified version of the tracker, because apparently someone in this call doesn't like me saying easy in After Effects. So let's start with the simplified.
Now you're just gonna say simple.
Simple. The more fun one. Well, that's not true. The other one is pretty fun as well.
Fun stuff.
Anyway. Okay. So, once again, I will go ahead and create a very rough mask. And you will see how rough this mask is, because I'm just using the ellipse tool. There. Right? So far, so easy. I mean, it's simple. I mean, beginner. I mean, fun.
Simple.
So
we're
far,
not
so
saying
simple.
easy anymore. We're saying simple now, but we're meaning the same thing, but we're just replacing it with a different word.
Synonyms, how do they work? Okay. So this is essentially just me saying After Effects, there's a face. Why don't you look for one? And After Effects then says like, okay, all right, I can look for a face, because imagine you have multiple people in the shot. You want to say like, I want to have a look at this one. In this case, we only have one face, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, and now in here, we should be able to see, and there we are indeed, face tracking, outline only, and face tracking detail features, just like we said earlier. So let's start with the outline one. Click on that. And again, I don't have to do anything for that. I just click track forward and wait for the rest. And immediately you can see After Effects has replaced my very crude mask with a more a version that's actually contoured to the face. And without doing any work, we can see After Effects has cut out our face. And now we can do anything we want. This reminds me very much of one of the old Disney movies, where a certain ghost was in the mirror on the wall. And that's one way to do it. But once again, we can use this effect to apply perhaps some color grading. So let's say, I don't know, the photographer didn't do a great job, or the videographer rather, didn't do a great job and didn't light the face properly. This is one way where we could easily relight the face. Or maybe if you are doing some, like a documentary and you have some people in the background and you want to blur their face, well, Gaussian blur and crank that up. And once again, of course, as we remember from last time, we want to make sure that in the effects section, we can go into the compositing settings. Let me just zoom in so everybody can see that. Click on plus, select mask 1, it's already selected, and now only the face is being blurred.
Also, Sandrine says that she thinks it's a bit green in the shadows, so maybe we can fix that.
Definitely, we could go into, or if we want to do that, we can, but I think we should rather, this is not really color grading stream, but if you are interested, maybe we can do one at some point. For this one, I will just quickly expand the mask just a bit, or you can also contract that to make sure we actually are covering everything, and I will also feather the mask slightly so it looks more natural. And there we are. Now we have blurred the face, and it's already tracking wonderfully. All right, that's one way to do it, but let's do the more fun one. So let's get back all the way to this point. That's actually where we want to be.
Also, Sean says that Disney movie wasn't real, Tim.
I know.
Are you crushing dreams right now?
Well, now you can make it real. Well, the clue was sort of that it was animated, so I don't know. Well, anyway, let's do the more fun motion tracking version. All right. So let's go into the hang on. Detailed features. Anyway, okay. And in here, once again, all we have to do is click play. And immediately we can see After Effects has applied a whole host of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, I guess. Tracking tracking points, rather, not masks. Those are individual points. And we can use those to put images or other effects, perhaps, maybe particle systems, foreshadowing, to the face. All right. And of course, it doesn't look creepy at all.
Also, one question that's also in the chat, and I think, I'm also not sure. Are ears considered part of the face? Because in the mask, they're not included. But I guess not.
In this case, they are not. But since we have, if you look over here, we have tracking dots at the position of the ears, it's really easy to just create another mask and put it on top. Or we could, of course, nothing is stopping us from masking out the ears and tracking those separately. But usually when you're doing face tracking, you don't really care about the ears, since also they can't really move too much in relation to the other facial features. Like, when was the last time you were able to move your ears 20 centimeters to the right in relation to your nose? That doesn't really happen. So we can extrapolate based on other positions that are more fixed, like the nose bridge that usually doesn't move, or nose tip. When was the last time you were able to move your nose tip? Like, I don't know. Unless you do this. Okay. Anyway, so we can see we have some positions that are tracking the eye, the nose, the mouth, nostrils, the eyebrows, which is very handy. And 20 centimeters. What's that in miles? Well, Sean, you can watch the film club with me and Tony, where we talk about give you an inch and you take 1.61 kilometers, and I'm sure there's some help for you in that. Okay, going back to the project for just a moment, I know. Let's see how After Effects is now presenting us with the results of the track. So in this case, if we have a look over here, After Effects has already added sort of an effect called Face Track Points. And if we twirl that down, we can see it's just a bunch of points, right? Let's say we want to track the left pupil, so maybe we want to change the color of the eye. Maybe from brown eyes to blue eyes, or from blue eyes to yellow eyes, or maybe we want to track some lasers on top of the eyes. Then we can just take this point and we can parent anything we want to those points, and those objects which we have linked or parented to those points will then move accordingly. So we have the eyes, we have the nose, we have the mouth, and of course cheeks and chin, which is sort of like the outline which we talked about when we want to track the ears. So we would probably then use left cheek top and right cheek top to make sure we can know where the ears are. For now, I would like to add perhaps some sunglasses, some spectacles on top of the eyes. So how could we possibly do that? Well, it just so happens that I have prepared a file. Of course, by prepared, I mean downloaded from Adobe Stock. And I can quickly drag that into my projects file. Here we go. And bring that in just like that. And we see that we have a whole selection of sunglasses. I think we should pick one of them. Any preference in the chat? How about this? Let's say that 1,
Anyone in the
2,
chat?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put a number in the chat. 1 being up here, 1, 2.
Sean says 1.
7, 8.
We have 1 for 1. 2. Oh no, I think that's gonna be, people cannot decide. Number 9. Number
4.
1, 2. Now I have to count. I think we had 1
dear.
3 times already.
1 is
seems
certainly
to
quite
be the
popular.
one.
2 is also catching up. 7,
Yes.
interesting. 8. Oh no.
Yes.
Okay.
7.
If you're
This is going to be
watching this-
difficult. Is anyone else still voting for 1? If we have one more 1, we're going to go with 1.
If you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, you should definitely come over to Behance right now. be.net/Adobe Live. Once again, be.net/Adobe Live, and join the chat there to
We
make
have
sure
one
your
more
vote
1.
counts. One more vote. Okay, I'm going to also vote for 1 because why not? Right.
Now we have 2 more 1s. So 1 it is.
Well, of course, this actually is a free image on Adobe Stock. So if also, just like the footage here that we use, this is also free. So if you want, you can just look for these numbers on Adobe Stock. You can just type those in and you will find both of those assets. You can download that and try it for free on your own time. Maybe you have a stream on Behance and you're looking for another subject for the next stream. You can do a bit of motion tracking. Who knows? I'm just spitballing here. Anyway, so I think we went for 1. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
one it was. One
So-
had the most votes.
So now I'm, of course, thinking about how we can just cut it out. This is indeed a vector file. I could go into After Effects and cut it out that way. Or I could do the lazy approach to cutting out by just using a key. In this case, I think Luma key would be our very best friend. Which is... Who is it? Or is that a Premiere only effect? I thought that was... We can use a linear color effect, I guess. Or we could also use extract. Oh well. Let's use the linear one. There we are. Easy. All right.
Would a blending mode also work for this?
Yes and no. Well, I guess we could use a blending mode since we could actually use some transparency in those glasses, so we should be fine. But in this case, I honestly just wanted to go with this so I can purely get rid of the white instead of having like some transparency. If we were to do it via blending modes, I guess we can do that. And that was, of course, under effects. We can use...
Sean is asking, is it Chroma Key? Is that what it was?
Well, that's... I guess blending modes also work. This doesn't look too bad. But I wanted to go for the more cartoony look and just use the color key like this. So we can actually preserve the transparency, or rather the non-transparency. I thought there was a Luma mask in there. Luma key. Oh. Thank you, After Effects. It's under obsolete.
Oh.
No need to be rude,
I
After
didn't
Effects.
even
I
know
still
that we had a
like it.
folder that's obsolete.
I still like it. Some of the best effects are under obsolete. Right? Oh, well. If we have a look at those. Right? Color key, mocha shape. There's some fun
Gaussian
things
blur
happening.
is obsolete.
Well, the
since
legacy
when?
version. The legacy version of Gaussian blur.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. All right. So, back to our task at hand. We want to track that on. And also, I actually want to ignore the mask, so we just set that to none. Now the mask is not affecting our image. All right. First of all, I would like to move the anchor point of those glasses over. So there are two ways to do this. Either I could just go to the pan behind tool and just move that here, the anchor point, or I think I can just, how was it? Yes, hold down Command and double click the tool, and this will automatically put it into the center of the visible area. So now it's sitting right there. Okay. How can we possibly track that on now? Any guesses? Well, certainly very easy. We go into the points, and I think for this we should be able to use that point right here. Sort of makes sense. The glasses are sort of sitting on the bridge of the nose, so let's find the nose bridge. There it is. And to make it a bit easier for us to parent that object, because if I were to go in here and then hit P for the position, then our window is gone, and I would have to go back and like, okay. If we don't want to do that, if we don't want to lose the window every time we click on a different layer like this, boop, we can use the lock icon up here, lock the layer, and now watch if I click on a different layer, this is still open. So now this is very easily allowing me to parent that to, I think we said nose bridge. There we are. All right, and we can unlock that again. And now, oh no, it's sort of tracking, but, well, that's not great, is it? The glasses don't know how to rotate properly. How can we fix that? Well, there happens to be two ways to fix it. One is a bit of trigonometry. So remember your school lessons in math class. Trigonometry, arc is tangents squared. This is what we would need. Or we could let After Effects do all the hard work, and we just use the tracking data which it is creating for us. So what do you want to do? Trigonometry? Or
everyone's like, we want to do math. Please don't let After Effects do all the hard work.
Yes, all right, let's do the math. No, let's not do that. If we want to do it, we can do it perhaps in a different stream. But I think for this, let's do the easy way. Because, as it so happens, After Effects is providing us with a really cool way to measure certain features on the face. So, we can go ahead and I'm just gonna get that here. Go back to our mask, which we have tracked. And if we check that out here, we can now say set rest pose. So we're looking for a sort of neutral expression of the face where the person is hopefully looking straight forward and having a relatively neutral face. Unfortunately, this is a very happy person. Doesn't stop smiling at one point. So we just have to go with that. Mostly neutral, I guess, but that's okay. And click set rest pose. After Effects says, got it. And now is presenting us with extract and copy face measurements. This is sort of a misnomer. It doesn't really extract it. It just creates a new effect, which looks like this. There it is. All right. Was worried there for a second. Like, where is it? There it is. Right. It adds a new effect called face measurements. And in here, we have face orientation. Yes. All right. So now, After Effects is doing all the hard work. And if we check out, if we scrub forward a bit, we can see the face is now rotated in a slightly different direction, and we can use that data to apply it to our very own effects, which is exactly what we want. For this case, to make it a bit easier, simpler, fun, more fun, I will make this a 3D layer, because imagine you're sitting there and turning your face to the right, or if you're looking at me, to the left. The glasses should also move like this, right? They shouldn't stay on like that. That's not how glasses work. So let's make it a 3D layer so we can rotate the glasses in all 3 directions, like that. Again, just one click away. There we are. Now it's 3D. Congratulations. And now we just go ahead and parent the rotation of those glasses to the rotation of the measurements. And this also is a very quick way to do it. I will once again lock the panel so I don't have to re-click it all the time. I will make sure to untwirl all that. Go into the transform. In here we have our X, Y, and Z or Z rotation. And guess what? We also have our X, Y, and Z or Z rotation over here. So how can we parent it? Why, of course, by using the property pick whip. The thing you don't want to say if you have eaten lunch recently. The property pick whip. Okay, so parenting. See, having kids is not that hard. Parenting is easy. You just click and drag. There we are, and that's all there's to it. Watch this. Ta-da! Well, that was easy.
One question about the tracking of the glasses on the bridge of the nose. Is it tracking the middle of the glasses, or what sort of point is it attaching to the bridge of the nose?
Well, we are now using the position of the layer, which of course is based on the anchor point. So that's the reason why we set the anchor point of the layer right here. We could also move, we could also move that anchor point to a different point on the glasses. Say, I just take the anchor point like this. We can bring those perhaps a bit more down if we want to. And now the glasses are sitting a bit more comfortably perhaps. Or of course, nothing is stopping us from just scaling them up a bit. Perhaps they are too small. Like this, yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect.
And, yeah. Notice, by the way, how they're actually transforming in perspective. I know this isn't very obvious since the person is mostly looking at the camera, but at some points, I think, yeah, here, you can see they are sort of squishing down. And that's fantastic. Exactly what we want. All right. He looks too cool for school now. There we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with the tiny glasses. He looks too cool for school.
I mean, yeah, it's a fashion statement, certainly. Let's actually scale it up just a bit. There, maybe. And bring them just a tiny bit right here. Fantastic. And of course, this is also really cool if you want to add a name above a person, like in the video game, a player tag. Or this is also quite a popular effect. You want to have like a text. And you want to be all fancy and cool. You can say, what's the name of this person? I think it is...
Jim.
Jim? Or Tim?
Yeah, he looks like a Jim to me.
Jim. Right. No pop card for Tim. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This should be getting rid of most of the the plosives, but apparently I was too excited. Jim. Okay, all right. And I guess for the color of the text, we can go with perhaps something that's not blending with the background. So let's go into the character panel, which of course is probably hidden somewhere. Character, there it is. Oh yeah, it's indeed hidden. It's all right. We can just close this one or make it full screen. That's what we want. Just, there we are. Normally I'm working on a 4K monitor, so I have a bit more space, but it's all right. So let's use, I don't know. Yeah, red, of course, why not? Let's just use this color. And once again, hit P for position. Drag that onto, yeah, let's use the nose bridge once again. And, of course, also the rotation, which we once again have to make a 3D layer. And parent that like this. And now use the anchor point to move it to the side. Of course, I'm picking all the wrong ones. There we are. And now the name is sort of sitting here on the side. And that happens to be quite a popular effect. You can also add motion graphics, perhaps. Maybe you want to add like some cool designs to this. And now the text is sitting comfortably on the side. Or maybe if you don't want it on the side, you can also push it up. And now Jim is looking very happy and looking at us. Okay. Now, let's have a look at how else we could possibly use those effects. Because, as it just so happens, we're not limited by using just one anchor point. We can use more than one. Okay, so how can we use more than one? Well, let's use the mouth, because that's fun. For this, I will create a new solid. Make that one, well, let's also use this red, because why not? We don't need the text anymore. Goodbye. And I guess we also don't need the glasses unless we really want to keep them, which in this case, why not? Because it's fun. But I would like to apply a distortion effect to this solid that we have right here. Why I want to do it will make sense in just a moment. So let me just get that here, go into distort, and we have our CC split effect sitting right here. And the way this one works is if I do this, you can see what's happening. Like we can sort of move that up and down. And maybe you're already guessing where I'm going with this. Who knows? And it just so happens that, oh, guess what? We have two anchor points, two tracking points here, which we could use. Where could we possibly use those? Well, let's check out the effect once again. Our tracker, which is of course sitting here, still locked. That's why it didn't show up right away. Let's check out the mouth. Ooh, look at that. Mouth left and mouth right. Huh. Well, let's try that. Bring that in here. And we can just say you. And no, it's under effects. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Hang on. Let's try that again. I should do it on the medium red solid layer because that's where the split effect is sitting. Effects, CC split, point A, point B. Point A, let's do that on the left. And one thing to keep in mind is this is the left side of the subject. So notice it is our right side, but if you were to imagine you're sitting there, it would be indeed the left side of the subject's mouth. So don't be confused by that. That's all right. Because it happens to be this effect is symmetrical, so we don't really care. And now let's use the right. Okay. Not creepy at all. And we're getting there. Hang on. I promise it gets worse. Because we have an issue. The split effect, it's not really moving. Right, where the mount it opens, it stays roughly the same. So let's make it sure it actually moves when he talks. And the way we're going to do that is by using the face measurements. Hang on, I know a lot of zooming right now, and this one is hidden under mouth. There we are. We have the width and we have the height. We are mostly interested in the height. So we can take that and apply it to the height. And take that as well and apply it to the height. Of course, we need to apply some scaling to that because this is clearly way too much. So I would just go in here and say times, I don't know, 0.2. Maybe more, 0.5. Or we need to scale it up, maybe. Times 2. Yeah. Of course, now I should really apply a slider, which I didn't do. There we are. And let's do the same thing for the top. And
now it looks properly creepy.
Oh, I know what happened. Yeah, of course. Now I know what happened. It unparented everything because I wasn't quite clever about how I did it. So let's try that one more time. There it is. That's better. All right. I was wondering, like, last time I had to scale that down. Why do I have to scale it up now? I was like, okay. Yeah, it unparented the effect. That's not what we want. All right. Now, hopefully, if I scale that down, yeah, there we are. That's better. And this one should now be scaled down by, I think, 0.2 about. Yeah, there we are. All right, that's much better. Okay. And now, as you can see, the effect is indeed applying to the lips and it's moving with them. So if the person has the mouth closed, like I think earlier here, yeah, there we are. Now it's much smaller. But if, let's see if we have something. Yeah, right here. Right, it's more open. Too much internet for today. I know. But the only reason I wanted to show you this is so we can actually use multiple anchor points in one effect from the face measurements. Okay.
Is there a limit how many anchor points you can use?
No, we can use all of them if you wanted to. Maybe you want to apply a mustache, so then you would probably use the tip of the nose to link that.
And you can also link multiple things to one anchor point, right?
Yeah, of course. You can link as many things as you want to one anchor point. Like we did earlier with the text, we linked them both to the nose bridge.
Yeah.
So of course, that's certainly an option. All right, so we only have about 5 minutes. So either we could jump into a whole new section about tracking in Mocha, but I really do think this one deserves a separate stream because that's a lot. And 5 minutes isn't like the best idea. So instead, let's see if we have anything else we could apply. Maybe let's just do something really cursed for the end. Let's apply a particle system to the mouth to make it fun. Because why not? Or what else? I haven't tried that one, to be fair. We could try applying like a particle system to the eyes, and we can make it look like there are some tears running down, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's, I always wanted to recreate this Snapchat filter where if you open the mouth, like a rainbow comes out. I always wanted to do that. Right? So how could we do that?
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
Could we have linked the glasses to 2 to 3 points instead of doing the 3D thing? Would that have, I guess then they don't distort properly.
Well, since you asked, let's do the particle system for another day because I do think that deserves another point. But since you've asked, we can take a quick look into some trigonometry and I can show you how you can indeed use 2 points, because it doesn't matter whether you use the phase measurements, which After Effects provides us with, or you use 2 points and you get the rotation based off those 2 points. So for this, I think we can just create a new composition real quick, because I don't want to, hang on, unlink that, new, yes, because this should make it much easier to follow my train of thought. I will create a quick new object like this. I will duplicate that. I said I will duplicate that. There we are. Move that over here and over there. So those could be our 2 eyes maybe. And we have a third one. These are like the glasses. And we want to make sure that the glasses always rotate based on those other points, which of course could be any point. Could be the nose, could be the mouth, anything. So how can we possibly do that? Luckily, it's relatively fun. So let's go into the rotation and create a new expression by holding down Option and clicking on this. In here, we now need to get the position of shape 1. So let's call this one shape 1 and say get the position by using the property pick whip of the first one. There we are. Let's just zoom in a bit so everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, and of course we need to do the same thing for shape 2. So let's do exactly that. And there we are. And now we need to make sure we subtract both points so we can get the distance from them. So let's just say distance equals sub shape 2 from shape 1. Okay, very nice. And now that we have the distance, we can calculate the angle of that distance. Because remember, like, pretend After Effects is just drawing a line like this. Now we just want to make sure, like, what's the angle of that line? And the way to do that is using the arcus tangens squared function, as we all know. So let's call that one angle, which is math.atan2. And this one takes 2 inputs. In this case, of course, we need distance and distance. There we go. And we need to make sure that we only get the first position of the distance, which, as we all know, since this is an array, we need to do it like this. So 0, And 1. Well, actually, I think it should be 1 and 0 because of the way After Effects works. Now we have the angle. Now we just need to make sure this is in degrees, not radians, which is apparently the way After Effects works. So let's say radians 2 degrees. Make sure this is sitting inside. And now, hopefully, we should be there. Of course, I'm pretty sure I made a mistake somewhere along the lines. And yes, indeed, I did. What have we done wrong? Okay. Is not defined. Why shape 2 is not... Oh, yeah, of course. You should name it shape 2. Yeah, that would help. Okay. There we are. So far, so good. And now, hopefully, if I move... Yes, look at that. Oh. So now the object is moving, only, of course, the rotation based on how I move the object. If I put them below each other, then we can see, yes, look at that. They are indeed... the glasses would be sitting like this. You know?
Yeah.
And of course... Now I'm getting hungry. Thanks, stomach. You don't need to remind me every 3 seconds. It's time to end the stream, Tim. All right. Okay. I will do it. Hang on. So yeah, this is how you can extract the rotation based on the position of 2 objects. So imagine those with eyes. Then the glasses could be sitting in the center. And they would be rotating along with it. Of course, the position will also be tracked.
Amazing.
Just be sitting there. And if you're interested, you can just... take this. I'm just going to zoom in so everybody can take a screenshot. Hang on. Let me just move the current time indicator out of the way. There we are. Take a screenshot now or never again. And bye. All right. Okay. And with that, I think that's all the time we have for today.
Or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. So thank you very much for joining. And I will hand it over to Sophia for the closing words. Or any questions, of course, if there are.
Yeah, thank you so much. I learned so much about After Effects today, but it was easy because I don't want to say easy. I don't want to say simple, but it might have been fun.
That's what counts.
So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. Just a quick reminder, we will be on a quick vacation. After this week, we will be gone for 2 weeks and then we will be back in August.
Yes.
But we have 2 more streams coming, one tomorrow and one on Wednesday, and then we will be gone for 2 weeks. But I hope you join us again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, again, and have a great week.
And of course,
Bye.
just one more thing. If you have any wishes for any future and upcoming streams, do let us know in Discord because we're taking the break. And if you want to see anything in particular after that, then let us know. All right, that's it. I'm done now. I'm gonna go eat something now.
Great week, everyone.
See you around. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.